Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a positive spin. Today we're going to be talking about The Strangers, Chapter 1. You guys had to figure this was coming. Now, The Strangers, Chapter 1 is something I did not see in theaters because I had heard nothing but terrible things about it. As a matter of fact, to this day, I have not heard one good thing about this film. Now, granted, I didn't scour the internet looking for decent reviews of The Strangers, but everyone that popped up that I watched, including people from this community, completely trashed this movie. Why? This is my second time watching it, and it was Joe's first time watching it. And I'm the one to talk him into not only getting it, but doing it for positive spin. Because he also had heard nothing but bad things about this film. So let's put a positive spin on The Strangers, Chapter 1. Okay, right away, I like the landscape, the overhead views, that they're in Oregon somewhere, and it's just beautiful country. I also like the whole cabin in the woods aspect of this film. And I think that plays into it a little bit better than, say, the original Strangers. Because let's be honest, this is a remake of the original Strangers. And I think they did that in order to tell maybe to further the story a little bit. Because they had already done The Strangers Pray at Night. So I think they wanted to start over with a clean slate and start with this movie and continue from there. So, like I said, I like the whole cabin in the woods aspect because there's nothing around. And it's a little bit eerie, more eerie than when someone knocks on the door. And of course, you have, is Tamara there? And where the hell did she come from? Why is she here? One thing I liked better than the original, and I'm not going to compare it too much to the original because this to me is what I like about remakes. It is a retelling of the story using the source material, but they did tweak it. It's not shot for shot. They did do a lot of the same things, but they did tweak it some, and I enjoyed what they did. So right away, um, I like the couple better than the couple in the original. And here's the reason. It's not that the actors were better. I love Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman, I believe, is the other guy. But they didn't seem to have the chemistry that this couple had. They seemed like they actually really liked each other. It was fun to watch them interact. She's a vegetarian, he's not, so on and so forth. And I like seeing them together. Now, what you have is you have your typical small town where it doesn't seem like they like outsiders. I don't understand why that's a problem now. It never has been in the past. That seems to be a typical trope with horror movies. And being that there's no one around for miles, it makes, for me, the suspense when they're being chased and being taunted and terrorized makes it a little bit more it just makes it better in my opinion. I'm going to be honest, I actually like this better than the original, and there's one key reason why I do. Well, there's a couple. I like the couple better, and I also like the pacing. I think this movie is paced really well, and for me it's better because if I'm bored in a film, and I'm not saying the original was all that boring, but there were a few parts that really slowed things down a little too much for my taste. Now I'm going to get into something a little bit different. In talking about this film, one of the things that really bothered me, and I talked to Joe about this when we were watching it, is that the reviews I saw was that, oh, it's just the same thing over again. There's no originality and just the same thing, shot for shot, which is not, but whatever. I'm asking, it's a home invasion slash slasher movie. What do you want, Shakespeare? That's number one. Number two, there are enough tweaks and a different cast where it could have happened somewhere else. This could have been a prequel or a sequel or a requel, as they like to say now. I just don't understand what the problem is. And here's my main gripe, I guess. People love the Friday the 13th franchise. They love it. They adore it. Some of my reviews on Friday the 13th, 1 and 2, have the most views. When I rank the franchise, it does pretty well. People adore this. So now I'm going to ask, what's the difference? Except for the first one, you add Jason, you add a different cast. Jason kills cast, rinse and repeat. Except for a different location, that's what you have every time. So, let's take The Strangers. You have a different cast in the 3 Strangers films that have been out. You have the 3 strangers kill those strangers in different locations, rinse, repeat. But this is the biggest piece of garbage movie that ever existed. This has a 4.7. Way too low. There were some things that I really liked about this. I liked how they changed the last line because, to be honest, in the original film, because you were home, really sent chills up my spine. It still does. They changed the end line, and I guess it took a second time for me to watch it to really enjoy that end line, but I do. And all in all, I just think this is a solid home invasion slasher movie. I don't understand where the hate comes from. Um, I just don't get it. So check out The Strangers Chapter 1, or don't. But don't forget to check out Joe's positive spin for The Strangers Chapter 1. I cannot wait until the second one. What do you guys think? Just remember to make it nice, keep it nice, and, physical media matters. Until next time.